Hi everyone, in last video we covered login feature, and after login we were navigated to the stores grid, and today we will be implementing logout feature, and also will after login uh, in fact during login we will be checking that email and password should match to a particular account. I'm not going to implement identity or any user table. I will be checking email and password with inline hard-coded uh, email password. So let's get started. And till now, from project architecture perspective, this is still an onion architecture. At the very beginning of the series, we aimed that we will be achieving clean architecture. We will be do that. We will be doing that, but for now, we will keep um, keep using that as it is. So let me quickly open the first thing, which is layout page, and if I can share you guys the UI how it's look like. So this was previously how it was um, built, that there were stores after login, and we had products, and each product section have related products. So let me quickly restart the server to see the changes. So I will press Ctrl F5 to see how it look like. Yeah, so that is one thing, and we will be updating that navigation as well. So first of all, let's introduce our logout option somewhere here on the page. So for that one, let me quickly update the HTML. So we know that all those options are coming inside our nav tag. So after the UL list, I will be adding a div, and we will be adding a class. Let's name the class like nav bar dash nav, and that is class for div, and we will be adding another an anchor tag, and let's say its class is nav item and nav link, right? And let's name it log out. Control F5 and quickly press the refresh. So if you now see, we will have that logout option in that navbar. Now you can see that we have that logout option, and the page is responsive because we are using bootstraps, which take care of the responsive part of the application. So it's responsive, which is good. And because I'm already logging, so we should be able to log out as well. For that one, first of all, we need a action inside our authentication controller. So currently we have login, and let's reuse, oh yeah, instead of reuse, why not let's type public I action result logout, and whenever we press the logout we need to redirect user return redirect to action, and that action would be first of all the action name would be index, and the controller name would be home. We can do that in both ways, like after logout we will be redirecting user to home, and we know that home is authorized, so it will eventually be redirected to login view, right? Otherwise we can directly redirect that um, action to login action, so we can do that as well. Let's say for now name of login like this. Right, and here we need to write that logout functionality, and for that one I will be using this dot http context dot sign out async, and it has 3 overload methods. Let's quickly have a look. In fact 4 overload methods. So it's taking authentication properties and the name of authentication scheme, both authentication scheme and name of authentication scheme, and a couple of different options, but for now we will be using only this one, and we should able to await that call. And to do that we need to make this action async type of async type, and we know that whenever we want to make a method async, we need to wrap the return type into a task in a task class. So we did that, and I think that should be fine now. And the last thing is we need to put the anchor properties, put some anchor properties. So for that one we will be using asp dash controller, that would be authentication, and next would be asp dash action, that would be logout. Let's quickly refresh and double check that. Okay, it's getting refreshed. Yeah, so now whenever we click on that one, we should be redirected to login, which is working fine. And if we try to go to any of those options in the headers, we will be still there on the login view because user is not authorized. So next thing we want is only certain or single email and password should be able to log into the system. As I already mentioned, I'm not going to integrate identity for now. I will hard code those values. So for that one, just to make the understanding how and where we will put that logic, so let's go back to authentication controller, and here at the top it should be, here will be your logic, right? So what logic is that? We will be comparing if model dot email equals to let's say abc dot at the rate of d.com, and the password is something like 1 2 3 4 5 6, Let's say if that is not the case, why not let's you know let's check those properties, and we will be making sure if that is not true, then we will be returning same view, or we can redirect user to the login view again. So for that case, return redirect to action, which is name of login, this way. So name of is a kind of what we can say the name of is. Let's double check what is name of, if that allows us. No. So basically this is a keyword which we use to uh, use the any of the property as a string, right? So if we pass a method name, class name, any kind of .NET related structure, it will convert that name to string. So instead of hard coding a string, we just put the name and it will treat that as a string at runtime. The benefit of this is whenever we change the the reference property, it will be validated at the same time. Like if I just change this name here, it will start giving the error instantly, right? So it should be start giving that error, right? So that's why we prefer name of instead of hard coding those strings. Okay, so now let's try the login again and see how it works. So we are here we are logged in already. Let's log out and now try with any of the information. We should not be able to log in, which is working fine. We should only be able to log in if we try abc@d.com, and password should be 123456. Let's say we put 66 and try. No, it's not working. abc@d.com and password is 123456. Now we are logged in into the system. So let's assume this is our main account for our user should be able to log in through that account, and he can certainly now log out as well. That's fine now. Okay, now next thing is we should be able to um, perform CRUD operations around selected store products. So let's update that part now. Okay, ybc and the rate of d.com and 123456. Let's go to the stores. Yeah, another thing is we need to certainly remove that product link from the header. Now we don't need that one. In fact, let's keep that one just in case I want to search across all the products around different stores, right? So let's keep that one as a global product collection. So we are here on the store. Let's go to its product. All right, and I am able to search. No, I'm not. So let's start with the search, right? So let's see how we are passing the search param. All right, so around this search, let's double check the work section and the index section. Here we have input for search and a button, and we need to check how we can pass that store ID here in that search. So for that reason, that particular reason, we need to check how we can get query string here on the view, right? There could be a couple of different ways. One way would be through viewback, right? So we can access. Okay, let's try with that simple one. There are a couple of different ways, but let's try with this one, and that can be handled if we go to the product controller and inside the index. Here we will be setting the viewback. Let's say viewback dot search term is equals to search. No, not search, it should be store ID, this way, right? And we will be consuming that viewback on the front end. Mhm. Yeah, let's double check if we are getting that system without realizing that view back on the view. I'm not sure that are we getting that search value here as well. So let's double check. What we are doing. Okay, so let's go to the stores and products. Okay, search is empty, that's fine, we don't need that one for now. And let's search something. We are getting search and we are getting store ID as 0. This is an issue, right? And in the index okay, let's uh, remove the debugger and try another way. Okay, and let me check the network call in that case. All right, if I can check the network call, we can see that we are passing that detail as a form data. Okay, which is fine, and we are getting the results system here. Okay, So one way could be like, why not mention method, which would be the get one, right? Let's try now. Let's see what happens. We want those fields to be sent in the query param instead of the form. So we will go to store products. All right, and let's search something, and we are passing now that value in the query param. That's fine. But next thing is we are not passing the store ID in that case. So for that one, we will be picking that viewback property here. We will be passing it as a hidden field, type hidden, and name would be store ID, and value would be this viewback dot system, and it would be a string coming from the controller. Okay, and let's close the element, and now let's try. So now if we press the search, we should be passing store ID and search both fields in the query params. Let's double check now. Okay, let's go back, let's refresh, and we are good now, right? We are able to pass store ID and search in the query params, which is good. Now let's search something like product, and we are getting our product too, which is good. And if we pass invalid query search, there will be no results back from the server, which is fine. And again, we should be able to pre-populate that field as well, and the simplest way is and will be again through the view bag. So that would be okay. I used invalid property. The logical mistake is there, so I will be picking store ID to this value and search term through this way. And again, let's go back to the index, and we will be passing it value and the rate view bank dot term, and that should be store ID. Now that's fine. Let's try that now and see the results. Stores, particular store, kk is not working. Now the value is persisting, which is what we required, what we want. And let's say we are searching for something like second, which is we can see in the description. It should be able to search that second, and the value should be persisted here as well. So we are good from such perspective. Let's see how we can create a product here. So yeah, so once we click on create, we are navigated to create view, but there is no store associated with this view. So for that one, again we will be passing the store ID in a query param, right? So for that reason, let's first go back to the index, and where we are creating the, we are clicking on the create new. Let's rename it first of all, and product, and we do want to pass what we want to pass. We want to pass a query param. Let's say what ASP route to, name of the route, let's say ASP dash area. Now fragment, your fragment name. Let's quickly search how we can pass the query param in anchor tag using ASP tag helpers. ASP.NET MVC pass query param ASP tag helper. Okay, let's say query string helper. Yeah, this is what we want, in this pattern. So for that one, okay, got it now. So we will be passing ASP route dash provider. I think provider will be the query param key, and that will be the value. Okay, yeah, I just remember now. I forgot how to pass. So yeah, we should be able to pass the query param through this way. Route ASP not this one, ASP dash route dash, and what is the key value? Key value is store ID. Yeah, store ID this way, and the value will be and the rate of you back dot store ID, like this, and we can, I think, wrap this in double quotations. Yes. Now let's try this. So with by including that ASP route, we should be able to pass store ID as a part of query param. Okay. So we have now stores, products, and if we double check the create link, you can see the URL is being generated with create question mark store ID is equal to 16, right, which is good. So now in the create action, of this controller, we should be able to get int store id, and that is an optional pair. For now, let's keep it like this, and we can pass that back to view through view back dot store id is equal to store id, and on the create view, where is the create view? Here we can get that store id. Yes, we can get that store id here, and we don't need to use as normal input. We can pass that value as hidden value, so that would be store id, which is already there in the model of that product model, you know, as a okay, let's go into the definition. We have store id already there, right? So we can pass store id as a hidden value, and the value will be again view back dot store id. Cool, that's cool. Okay, now whenever we will create that product, it will be linked to that particular store automatically, right? Let's double check. Okay, social pack kkk create, and if we go to that redirection is also an issue for now, but if we again go to, no, that is not creating the right product. And why is that? So then we can double check when we go to the store controller, the create one, we have used that, we have added a model store service dot add, right? And that should be, oh yeah, I'm doing that wrong in wrong controller. This is a wrong controller. This should be the here in the product controller, and product create view back from here, and now it should be able to create a product. Let's debug now, just to make sure that we are doing the right steps. Okay, store products. We can remove, and if we create a new product and click create, we should be able to receive the store id now, which we are receiving, and along that we are getting the whole store entity as well. Which I think could be an issue, which I think could be an issue. Okay, if we add and go back to the store. Yes, it is an issue. Okay, so social pack is added, but store entity, new store entry is also added, right? So to rectify that issue, first thing, the quick solution we can do by making that store property null, but that would be a to do. So every time we are not sure how it will work in future, we need to put to do in your code. So to do need to check if that is useful, but for now we can do model dot store equal to null, which is just to stop creating a new store every time we add a new product in that store. Okay, stores, let's delete that one. Let's go to the second one, add product, and stores are still two, and now there are two products in second store, which is now it's working fine. So once we created that store, we should be redirected back to the selected, you know, store instead of global store, right? So what I mean by that is we should be able to pass that store ID here as well through that line. And how we can do that is we can double check the options. One is route values. I think that is the one we need to pass. Store ID is equal to model dot store ID. Now it should be working fine. Every time a new product is added in the store, we should be redirected back to the same state where we have that store ID in the query param. Okay, let's try to add a product now. Product 12 kk. Yeah, now it's working fine. So now we are able to check the stores and able to see the products of that store. We are able to search inside that store FIRST, and we are able to add new products in that store, and we are able to delete what happened. Yeah, we are able to delete, but the redirection should be corrected. So for that one, that is an issue now, because for the delete one we only have that product ID, but what we want is its store ID, right? Again, there could be couple of possible solutions. So for that one, we need to revisit that index page of that product to see what are the available values we have in that model. Yeah, definitely. What we can do is in the delete action link we can pass the store ID as well, just to save a database call. Item dot store ID, like this, and inside that product controller we can have another param which is int store ID, and this store ID is only required for that redirection. New store ID is equal to store ID, right? So we can only do that one as well, just to pass the same property, because the name of the property is same. We don't need to assign that one into another property. So now double check the delete. For that one I need to go back to the store. I need to see if there are multiple products. If I delete, I should be staying on the same view, which I'm not. Store ID, and yeah, store ID is 0. Delete 10 and store ID is 0. Store ID is 0. Which means model dot store ID, and here it is fine. Why not here in the I think I have store ID is route value, and what is this? Store ID item dot store ID. Let's see what value of store ID is coming from the database. Maybe we are not getting the store ID from the database at first place, so that's why we are not getting the correct value from the database. That's why it's getting 0. So the issue is we have to need to fix that one. And on the next layer of the presentation is window is a business layer, and we can double check how we have implemented the service, which is the products for store. Let's go to the implementation, and yeah, we are not selecting the store ID. That is the issue. So we need to select the store ID, which is equal to start store ID. Now it should be fine. So if now you see the the link here at the bottom, it says store ID 16, which means it's working fine. To double check that, we need to add a new product and a new description, and if now we delete that one, we will be able to delete without redirecting to another view or general products view. So we can now delete it, we can create, the only thing is edit. So let's double check that one as well. And if we click on edit, so edit part, for the edit part we need to do the same thing, which is to pass that query param into the edit option as well, like this. And in the actions we need to okay, we need to have that and store ID like this, but don't think so that is required because we already will having that product ID and store ID against that product. And if we go to its view, go to view, here we should be adding a store ID as well along with the ID. So that would be store ID hidden. That is fine. And once we get that value inside the edit post action, we will update it, and again we need to redirect that one back to the new as a query param to the action model dot store ID like this. Let's now try to edit the product as well, and after that we are done with that product interface and basically the product UI. So if we click on edit, we are editing that JJ product. Save, product store ID. Yeah, something happened wrong here as well. Okay, let's delete it and double check what step gone wrong. So for that one, let's quickly add a debugger and see what could be happening. What is the possibility? Let's go to stores and products. That's fine. And let's add one. Okay, done. The other thing is to add it. Let's do that one as well. Okay, now the critical thing, we have now the whole store coming. Again, the null thing, we need to set that one as well. The store ID is right, and okay, so first thing to check is that store thing. So model dot store id, not store id, store is equal to null. Control F5. Stores products, edit, save, and it's working. Edited product, save. Yeah, it's working. So that's how we can manage the relationship on the UI through passing that ID, store ID, for product part of the management. So now we are done with products. We are able to log out, and we'll bring some more important things in next video. First of all, iMemory cache. So that is another important point. We don't want to pull every time you refresh the browser from the database. So what we will be doing, we will be adding a memory cache layer, so we can configure that one, that to cache those results for a particular time period, and we can configure that through again the infrastructure layer, where we will be configuring that iMemory cache. We can pass the multiple settings as well. In the next video we will try to see that one, along with I options design pattern, right? So a hint is I options is used to read and maintain the keys we are reading from the configuration file. One way is to read as a key pair values, right? The other ways is to map those configuration directly into the models, and whenever there is change in the config file, we can even without restarting the application, we can change that value into the application. So we'll see what are the different options with I options pattern, and we'll see you in the next video. I will push all that code right now so you guys can see and double check in case of any questions. You do ask in the comment section. So till the next video, bye.